All right, so the new year is coming to an end. So with that being said, we want to give you guys a little review slash recap of the year, talk about some of our favorite animes. So here we go. Okay, so right off the bat, we had, continuing from last anime season, I guess winter 2021 going into winter 22, was Attack on Titan, the final season, part 1, part 2, Electric Boogaloo. Don't know what the deal is with that. It's still going on, but leading into this year, it was finishing up for that. So that was the one thing that I was hyped for, and continuing to live up to the hype, it did for me. Attack on Titan final season, I don't know the exact number, but the final season of Attack on Titan did finish out strong for me. It ruled the internet when it was going on. Everybody kept talking about it. It was all over Twitter. It was all over my Instagram feed. Everywhere that you were on social media, you could not escape Attack on Titan. And for good reason. It's kept up the pace. It's kept up the story. It's kept people guessing. I know that it might end not how everybody wants. I haven't read it. I'm I'm an anime only watcher, so I'm not quite sure how it ends, but for now, what we've been getting, I've been excited for it every week. It kept me on my toes, and there were just a lot of twists and turns that I was like, whoa, what is happening? Probably one of the biggest twists in anime in recent years, I would say. But yeah, Attack on Titan final season for me started off the year pretty strong, and I was definitely excited for it when they got announced for the next part of it. So I will continue watching it. And if you have not watched Attack on Titan, I suggest that you get into it. It is a fun ride from the beginning to the end, if the end ever comes.
So following the calendar year, this one actually came out at the beginning of the year. I watched it at the end of the year because it's on a very specific thing. I'm putting Hero Wing. It's your typical kind of your OP pro tag, strong guy. He's the hero, saves the world from the Demon King and her army. Then people realize they're like, wow, this guy's really fucking strong, and they become scared of him, and they kind of shun him. They're like, you need to go. You're too scary. So he's like, all right, fine. In that case, I'll go join the other side. So he goes and joins the Demon King army. Well, he tries to. They reject. They're like, no, you literally just beat us. Get the fuck out of here. So he has to kind of prove himself a little bit, and he kind of forms these friendly bonds with the Demon King army, helps them rebuild. And eventually, there's an emotional twist at the end that's what really gripped me, and was kind of like, okay, this was great, and now it's even better. The way it ended, though, I'm not sure it's going to be a season 2. I would love to continue watching it if that were the case. They kind of wrapped it up real tight. Overall, I think it's a pretty good anime for those who even haven't watched anything before. It kind of gives you a little bit of everything. You got your hero, you got your strong powers, you got your demons, you got your little bit of romance, a little bit of everything. I think it kind of dabbles in it. So that's definitely going to be one of my picks for top anime of the year. I think you should check it out. Moving to the next one. No big surprise here, as people who have been following the show for a little bit. Spy Family. It's fantastic. Definitely top anime of the year. We have second season did kind of fizzle out. That's kind of, we didn't really continue our review, but Spy Family is what it says. It's a spy, and he has a family. He has to get information about the enemy, and the only way he can do that is by going undercover, by having a family. He meets his wife, Yor. He adopts a kid, Anya, and it's kind of just like your typical slice of life. Them going about, not so much spy as it is family. It does kind of dabble a little bit into the spy stuff to kind of keep people interested for those who are into it, but it's definitely more of a slice of life kind of family type thing. So you have like your intense moments, you have your cute moments. Overall, definitely, I think could be top 3 anime for the year for me if the second season had been a little bit better and didn't kind of die out as it did. But that's something probably me and Nate can agree on at the same time. I'm sure you'll get his review here in a second. I think anybody who, especially if you have a family, this would be a great one for you to watch. There's nothing really put people off. Yeah, that's pretty much all I have to say for Spy Family.
Yeah, so Spy Family for me, it was a hit or miss show for me. I mean, it's good, it really is, if you're into like slice of life, which for me, I'm not super into. So I think that's why I kind of like fizzled out of my my watch list, especially with the fall season that we just had. It was just so much going on that I kind of just dropped it and forgot about it. But I cannot deny that it is good. The storyline's fine. It's interesting to see that side of like a spy. You never really think about like a spy's family. You think of them like kind of James Bond, where it's just he's alone in his mission and he doesn't really like interact with anybody outside of just like having sex here and there with occasional people. So it's cool to see like the other side of it, where it's just like, hey, what if a spy had a family and he just lived with the family, but also he's a spy. So yeah, it is a nice little watch. Christian mentioned earlier, you can watch it with your family. So if like you're looking for a show to watch with your family, maybe get them into anime. This could be a good pick for you. I appreciate what it did for the culture. It moved it forward in a way that hasn't been moved forward yet, and I can understand why people love it so much. But for me, I just kind of lost interest, and that's maybe on me. But I have heard that it still is good. So yeah, definitely check it out if you're into like slice of life stuff. All right, moving right along here, following the calendar year that we have set for you guys, moving, from January till December. Earlier in the year, we also had a movie come out. It was Jujutsu Kaisen 0, the next part in the Jujutsu Kaisen story. Definitely one of my favorites of the year. It's cool to get brought back into the world of Jujutsu Kaisen, especially since we were out of it for so long. Probably like 4 or 5 months since the last time we'd gotten the season, I believe. But yeah, the movie itself was really good. The animation's top notch. It follows the story of the Yuji squad. It was Yuta, that's his name, and it was cool to see like earlier days of Jujutsu High. Is that what it's called? I think that's what it's called. Yeah, having them and having the earlier team that Gojo had assembled with Yuta, Panda, Toge, and what's her name? I always forget. Mei? Is it Mei? It's my Valentine. But yeah, so it's cool to see like them, because we don't really get them fleshed out too much in these seasons, but it was cool to see them, back in the day get more fleshed out, and you kind of like respect them more as characters, and it was cool to see Yuta. He's a nice addition to it. Again, not reading the manga, so I don't know what happens, but I've seen some stuff maybe that might be some stuff coming forward that I'm a little concerned about with Yuta and his character. But overall, the movie itself was a nice little treat. It was cool to see everybody in the theater. It's always fun to watch anime movies in the theater because you guys see your crowd, the people who are just like you, who are into the same stuff. And yeah, overall for me, it was a good time. A 10 out of 10 movie. Definitely lived up to the hype.
Piggybacking off of Nate, I also agree that Jujutsu Kaisen movie was fantastic because I'm a big fan of Jujutsu Kaisen. The first season was phenomenal, and this movie on its own was great. I'm not a big fan of just them releasing movies. Sometimes I prefer to watch episodes. I agree with Nate. The animation is fantastic. I love the story because like you think it's gonna be Yuji again, but yeah, it is the pre-Yuji era. I can't really say more than what Nate said. I liked everything. I even liked Rika, her little demon, that whole little kind of love story thing, even though she was a big scary demon. You get to see more of Panda, you get to see more fighting, and Gojo putting the hands on that man the way he did, the rolling punches or whatever that shit was, it's probably my favorite part of the entire movie. I would definitely check it out, and I can't wait for this next season to come out, and I can see what the hell happens, because I've seen some things, manga stuff, all that sort of stuff, so I can't wait. I want it to come out sooner. Please hurry. I need my Jujutsu Kaisen. Continuing along the year, I'm moving a bit later now. You probably know what's happening. Overlord Season 4 came out. I'm a big Overlord fan. Again, OP Pro Tags, that's my thing. That's my tag. OP Pro Tags. So those who haven't seen Overlord, you got your man, Ainz. He's the big bad, the Demon King. He's got a bunch of followers, a whole, like, not kingdom per se, basically like your typical, like, dungeon. And he is just the strongest man ever. And he's like, you know what? I'm gonna take over this world. It is an isekai. He was a man who got absorbed into a video game. It got shut down. He got sucked into it, and he's trying to, expand his kingdom and find his friends. It's fantastic. Animation, for the most part, I think, as has been dragged on, the animation's kind of gone down a little bit. But the story's fantastic. It has, again, everything you can ask for. It has, it's got funny moments, intense moments, a little bit of romance here and there. Those are my thoughts. Overlord's definitely, probably top 5. I don't know if I can put it top 3 yet. I had to see what else is coming out, and, we're following the timeline, so we'll go from there.
So I didn't watch Overlord, sorry, but, based off of Benham's recommendation, maybe I'll check it out. But something I did watch following along here, this kind of came out, it came out way earlier in Japan, but it came out here towards, like, the beginning of fall season. It's going to be the One Piece Red movie. So, yeah, I watched this movie. I have a review for you guys if you want to check it out. My review came from the point of view of somebody who does not watch One Piece. So I don't watch One Piece. Little heads up for you there. I've seen the 4Kids animation, which is, not very far along. I think it got all the way to Arlong Park. I think that's what it's called, that arc. But yeah, that's as far as my knowledge goes. So I just went into this review completely blind to what's been happening in One Piece. I've seen a few videos that like kind of outlined the storyline of it. So I knew like kind of the turn of events. But yeah, for a movie itself though, One Piece Red, Going up against Jujutsu Kaisen Zero, it is not close at all, and that's coming from a biased point of view. That's right. I did not like One Piece Red as much as I liked that movie, but the film itself, One Piece Red, film Red, whatever, it was decent. It wasn't too bad. It was cool. Fun little storyline. New characters that we got. The little singing lady, she was cool. There were some characters in there that I've never seen before, but people who watch the show would be aware of them. What's his name? He's a marine guy. I forgot. Kirizu, I think his name is. I don't know. He's the light guy. He ate the glint fruit. He was super tight. He was my favorite part of the movie. But the rest of it itself, though, was a pretty okay movie. It was weird. It was a musical, so if you're like into musicals and One Piece, this might be right up your alley. So that's probably why I didn't like it as much, because I went into it not knowing about One Piece and not knowing that it was gonna kind of be a musical. I fell asleep at one point. I won't lie to you. It wasn't for very long. It was probably for like 5 minutes maybe. But yeah, people who like One Piece enjoyed it. So I guess that's all that matters. So if you are into One Piece and you haven't seen it yet, go watch it, because I'm sure you'll love it. But for me, it was a cool little piece of media to watch. It was a nice little addition, I guess, to the movie realm of anime films. But I think most One Piece fans would agree that this is not the best One Piece film. Red, not for me. But yeah, that's my thoughts on One Piece.
Oh man, I didn't know you fell asleep during that movie. That's pretty funny. I mean, I can't blame you. I'm not big into One Piece. I've seen a lot of the stuff that got really close to the mic. I've seen a lot of the stuff that's come out for it, especially the stuff that's coming out now. It looks pretty good. But yeah, I didn't watch the movie, but I do like Uta, which is the girl that sings. I listen to a couple of the songs on the low, when I'm by myself in the car. I do like the actor they chose. A lot of the songs that she made, I like her voice. It's really good. Otherwise, yeah, I mean, it's One Piece. Dragon Ball, superhero. Because these two right here, the best part of the movie. For those who don't know, the Dragon Ball superhero movie is basically, I believe it's when Goku and Vegeta are training with Whis. So this is kind of the events that go down while they're away training with Whis.
Yeah, I can't believe I almost forgot that. Yeah, it's Dragon Ball Superhero, the movie, was a nice little addition to the filmscape of anime. There was quite a bit of films that came out this year that I went to go see. That's pretty fun. So yeah, again, another experience that was heightened by the crowd when I went to go see it. I enjoyed it because the crowd was so hyped. I saw it twice, actually, but that was weird for me because I'm not like the biggest Dragon Ball Z fan. I enjoy it, as everybody else does. Growing up, it was like your first one you've seen. But the movie itself was cool. It was fun to see like a new animation style. Like it was like CG, and it wasn't like annoying like most CG anime goes. It was actually like doable. And at one point, I was like, damn, I could probably watch like a full series like this if they did it this way. It would suck to lose the 2D animation aspect of it, but I could see if they wanted to go to like a cheaper route, I guess, it would be this little CG animation that they had. But the movie itself, cool. I enjoyed it. It was cool to see, Goku and Piccolo have their moment in the sun. Especially, not Goku, Gohan. I'm sorry, have their moment in the sun because everybody, loves Gohan so much, and that it was finally his chance to like break out of the whole like nerd persona that he's had over the past couple seasons. How he's kind of like lost his way. He used to be so cool and strong, and then now he's just like whatever. But then this movie kind of like shows him like, hey, he still is that guy, and you don't want to mess with him, and they gave him like the strongest form that we've seen in Dragon Ball so far. So I guess Gohan will continue to always be the one to push past everything else and do his own thing. If they want to go Super Saiyan, he goes Mystic. If they want to go Super Saiyan Blue, whatever, he's gonna go to this beast mode. So it's cool to see that Gohan has his own path, and Piccolo too getting a new form. That was really cool. So yeah, it definitely was a fun movie. Definitely exciting to see something like this in 2022. All right, so we're finally in the fall season of 2022. What started us off was Blue Lock, the show that kind of had a little bit of hype going into it. People who read the manga were like, hey, this is going to be one of the ones that's cool. It's going to be like the new Haikyuu kind of, where it's like the sports anime that everybody kind of watches, even if you're not like the biggest fan of that sport. It just has a cool cast of characters, and what we've seen so far, it's still going currently. It has been really cool. I've been enjoying this a whole lot. The animation's top notch. The characters, you're learning to love a lot of them. They're all getting their own little characters fleshed out. Bashira, best character, my favorite. But yeah, it is cool. Especially like with the World Cup going on, when it came out, it kind of added to the hype of it all. And yeah, it's just kind of like the perfect storm for it to get as big as it's gotten. And people who, like I said, don't watch sports animes usually, this has gotten people's interest. Like me, I'm not super into sports animes. I enjoy sports, but like the sports anime side of it, I'm like, it's okay. I want to see people fight. I don't want to see people play sport. But this one changed it all, and has a cool power system, cool cast of characters, cool animation, and for me, it's been a surprise hit for me. Definitely enjoying it a lot.
I'm Blue. Blue Lock, that is. This was actually, this might actually be my top anime of the year, because this is one of the only animes that I've seen, like, that I knew was coming. I've seen some stuff, like, on Instagram or just, like, throughout social media. I've seen some manga stuff, and it was just one of those things where I was like, this looks really fucking good. And kind of the same as Nate. I'm into sports. I'm not into sports anime. I didn't watch Haikyuu. I didn't watch Kuroko no Basketball. I watched Prince of Tennis, I think was probably the last sports anime I watched back on Toonami in the day. I will say, first and foremost, that it started off slow for me. I did like the intro. I didn't like how it's kind of like the Goku Frieza battle dragged it out every kind of the first half of the episodes. The second half, though, fantastic. Like, it was just, whew. I'm not even a big soccer fan in the first place, but this was just something about, like, it kept me. I audibly screamed at one point along with them when they scored a goal. I was getting ready for work, and I screamed when he scored one of these goals, and I don't do that. So that's just kind of shows you, like, how involved I was in this anime and just, like, how much I loved it. So I can't wait for the second half of the season to come out, because I just want to see how even fucking better this is going to get. So Blue Lock, lock that shit down. Watch it. Moving right along down the chain, Chainsaw Man. This one I saw coming as well. I've seen some things on social medias. I've seen some manga stuff. I have friends who actually read the manga before, and they were like, this is it. This is the one. I don't think it topped Blue Lock for me. I could definitely probably put it in my top 3 of this season, but it definitely does not beat Blue Lock for me. Chainsaw Man was like, they kind of dragged the episodes on a little bit. The pacing was kind of weird for me. I wasn't the biggest fan of it, but that's probably my only gripe for the whole show. Otherwise, the story, the characters, the fights, the animation, there wasn't really anything aside from a few little 3D things that I can pick out, because you watch anime, you see these things. You don't really want to say anything about them, but you see them. I definitely like where they're going with this next season. Hopefully, they haven't really said anything about when we're getting some more. But I would definitely pick this up if you're trying to get into anime, or you're looking for something to watch, waiting for the next shit to start this next 2023 season. It has a little bit of something for everybody. I would definitely check it out, especially if you're a 16-year-old boy who likes titties like our boy Denji does.
Chainsaw Man definitely was probably the most hyped up anime of 2022, and for me, didn't really live up to that hype. I don't read the manga, but everybody who read it, like Christian mentioned, they hyped it up a lot. They were like, hey man, this is gonna be the one that changes everything. It's gonna the paradigm, the dynamic of the Marvel DC universe is about to shift. It didn't for me. It's fine. It's a cool show. I enjoyed it. I'm not gonna sit here and say I didn't watch it and didn't enjoy it every week. It was a nice addition to what I was already watching this fall season, but for me, it just didn't live up to the hype. But it was still good. It's a fun time, cool characters, cool concepts, some stuff that we've never seen really before in anime, and the motivation for Denji. That's probably the best part of the whole thing. It's just a man who wants the sex, and if you don't give him the sex, he'll be upset. So I think that's pretty cool that we got that as a form of motivation, because usually it's like money or revenge, but no, he just wants to feel some big O's, and that's cool. I appreciate that from him. And the show itself, though, check it out. It's fine. It's a good watch. I mean, I'm not gonna lie and say that I wouldn't recommend it. I do recommend it. Just go in with tempered expectations. Don't let anybody who's read the manga tell you that it's gonna be like this life-changing thing, because it's not. Well, not yet, at least. Maybe it will be, but for me, what we've gotten so far with this first season, decent. We just get banger after banger after banger this fall season, ending 2022. Mob Psycho 100 season 3. Man, what a great show. What a fun time. Probably my standout for the fall season. I know Christian mentioned that Blue Lock was his. This will probably be my favorite, just because I'm connected to the character and I followed his journey this whole time. The ending of it was kind of abrupt. I didn't realize it was going to end so soon, and it's officially over. So if you've not seen Mob Psycho 100 at all, you can watch it now. It's finally all completed. It's always nice to get a completed show. It's cool to get ongoing stuff, but to get an ending for a show, it's rare, and it's cool, especially to get one that ends so nicely the way it did, with a nice little bow attached to it. I know the season almost didn't happen. They kind of almost ended it after the last season, but this one was cool. Nice little addition. Fleshed out Mob's character a lot more, along with the rest of the characters that we met along the way. It kind of shows you like the impact that he's had on them, but they've also had on him. And it was oh man, it just every week would show you something different, and it would show you like, hey, if you wanted to go animation, you want to go fight scenes toe to toe, we can stand with the best of them. We'll give you the most action you've ever seen, and it's gonna look better than most of what you've watched. You want to do comedy, we'll give you some comedy here. It's gonna make you laugh harder than anything. And if you want to do heartfelt feelings and sadness, we'll do that too. It has every tone that you could imagine in a show, and I just can't say enough good things about it or about Mob's character himself. I just say go watch it if you haven't already. Okay, so that is our recap of the 2022 anime season. Hopefully you guys watch this and want to like see some of these shows if you have not already watched them. Quick honorable mentions. My Hero Academia season 6 has been pretty fucking solid. I've been enjoying that a lot. Do you have any other quick honorable mentions?
I will make honorable mention. It is kind of smaller. A lot of people don't know about it. It's called Licorice Recoil.
There you go. Licorice?
Yeah, Licorice Recoil. No, Licorice.
Okay.
They're like high school girls, but they're hitmen at the same time, and it's pretty sick.
Okay.
I would definitely check it out if you haven't.
Oh yeah. Komi Can't Communicate. That was another solid one. People like that a lot. Anything else? Any romance ones? Oh, My Dress Up Darling. You didn't talk about that. You enjoy that?
I don't know. It didn't come up on the list that I was looking at.
Oh.
Yeah, My Dress Up Darling. Fantastic.
Yeah, so 2022 has been a solid year for anime. It's been very slow going at the beginning, but then it kind of all picked up towards the end. So overall, as a season or a year of anime goes, I'm going to give this year probably a solid 8 out of 10, I think, for me. Actually, the movies, I'm going to give it a 9, because the movies kind of helped it a lot. There's been a lot of good stuff that came out this year. I'm going to give this year of anime a 9. What about you?
Yeah, I was going to do the same thing. I was going to hit with an 8. You know, it's like, it's been pretty damn good. I was like, Blue Lock definitely picked that up from a 7 to an 8. But then now, you did mention the movies. I was like, you know what? Those movies were pretty fine. I'm also going to give it a 9.
There you go. 2022 is a 9 for you guys. So if you complain about shows not being good or having anything to watch, hopefully this helps you guys figure out some new shows or see some cool stuff. So yeah, that's been a fun year. We'll see you guys in the new year. If you haven't subscribed already, I hope you do down below. We finally hit 100 subscribers. That was kind of cool. We're at 100, baby.
Thanks, guys. Appreciate you. Every single one of you.
100 subs. Love that. We want to get to, the next goal, 200 and 300 and so forth and so forth. So tell your friends, share the video, all that fun stuff. Like it. Also, you can follow us. All the links are in the description below. And we'll catch you guys next year.
Aha.